Hi, also just a quick demo of tree pose. And a couple of variations on tree pose. So one of the things that always springs to mind when I'm teaching tree pose is that people are always trying to get their non-standing foot, if you like, up the leg as high as they can, and then you'll often be in this situation of up and down, up and down, up and down. And there's a couple of reasons why this happens, and that'll be partly to do with struggling to balance in the standing leg, and also maybe to do with tightness around the knee. I remember for years and years and years, on one side in particular, I'd always really struggle to keep my foot up in this position, and it wasn't anything to do with my ability to balance in this leg. It was the tightness that I had around the muscles in the knee, soft tissue. So I'd lift it up, and then it always want to kind of kick away. And then, I talked to other yogis and other yoga teachers, and they were talking about this action of pressing the foot into the leg, which there is a bit of that, which can be a little bit painful. And also there's like this shearing effect of that foot because of the tightness around the knee wanting to come down, and that can be a bit uncomfortable on the skin. So we really don't want any discomfort. We don't want to be in a position where we're all this foot's always coming down. I mean, of course it's going to from time to time, but always, taking the steps up the ladder in terms of challenge. So it makes sure that it's in keeping with what your body is comfortable with. And as you do more and more tree poses, the standing leg becomes stronger, the muscles in the leg become stronger, and then it's a little bit less challenging. But sometimes there are all sorts of other factors that come into play when we're doing tree pose. So I'm going to take my weight into my right leg and the left foot. So we can either have it toes on the mat, so you hopefully feel a little bit more stable on there. Majority of the weight is still in this right leg, so there's still an element of balance, and we're just having these toes resting on the ground to support as you need. And we can bring that foot higher up the leg if you're comfortable with that. And as I'm doing this, I'm looking straight at the camera to help fix my gaze, but you might be having a fixing the gaze short distance in front, or maybe on the wall, or whatever is in the background. And again, as I was talking, I lost my balance a little bit, my foot came down, so it's all good. So I'm bringing that foot up, soft gaze, fixing the gaze, hands to prayer position. And as I'm standing there, I'm looking at the camera, I can see that this right hip is popping out a little bit to the side. So again, that's something that can happen where we're maybe a little bit lazy in the pose. So we're imagining something's attached to the crown of the head and pulling us up. So I'm going to pull up, that hip draws in. So we're extending up nice and tall. And then I'm going to pop that left foot down. So we're taking weight into left leg. Right foot again, preferred position. I always try and encourage people, don't have the non-standing foot, if you like, in a position that makes it impossible to do the pose, but hopefully gives you still an element of challenge there. And it might be different on one side to the other. It might be different on one day of the week to the next, depending on what's going on, depending how busy the mind is. So again, we fix the gaze, extend up. And then what I'd often do is take the hands up, apart, coming back down, and then coming up, apart, and back down. And maybe doing that 3 times on each side. So that your body will work harder on the balance as you move the arms away from the body. And there's another variation what I'll do. Well, I'll bring this right leg round in front. I'm going to take my left hand on the right leg, and I'm going to draw the right leg across the body, right arm to the right, and if we can, we're turning the head to the right hand, and then popping the right foot down. Just a quick note on the non-standing leg. As you bring that leg up, also as well, you want to bring the knee back, open the hips. So I'll just demonstrate sliding sideways on. So I've got a bit of tightness in the hips. So I'm going to lift up that left leg, foot on the inside of the thigh, hands to prayer position. So as I'm standing in this position, you'll see this left knee protruding. So if you can, we want to be aware of that. And if we can, we're drawing that knee back. And as soon as I've done that, my body is twisted. So we don't really want to force that twist happening. Again, it's not that we're going to cause a problem, but we're not getting the most out of the pose, and we're not, I guess, being mindful of what these key alignment points are. So if my hips were to allow, and as I was standing sideways on, then you wouldn't see that knee. It would be back. So it's just being aware of that. So when you're coming into the posture we're holding, we're drawing, maybe drawing that knee back. We might be able to just draw it back a couple of millimeters or so with the muscles in the hip and pelvis area, but not to the point where you're starting to, the body is starting to twist or turn. Also as well, when I was taught yoga, and a lot of the yoga classes that I went to in years and years gone by, they would say never put your foot on the inside of the knee, even though the sole of the foot fits quite nicely there. So I followed that instruction religiously, and then I've recently started following Dr. Yogi. If you're not familiar with him, Google him, have a look, or look on Facebook, and he puts these bits out about fake news, and he commented on that and said, as long as you feel as though you're in control with what you're doing with your body and your yoga, and you're moving with your breath, so you're feeling calm, you're in control, it's not painful, it's not uncomfortable, then it's all fine. So just being aware of that. You know, if your foot comes up and you can't get it higher than the knee, but we kept it in the position there. I mean, it's not hurting my knee at all, having the foot there. A lot of from years ago when I'd go to yoga class, they would say the knee isn't designed to have a load going across that way, which makes sense, but the pressure of the foot on the knee really isn't that great. You're not going to be in tree pose for very long, and if you put your foot there and it is uncomfortable on the knee, then you'll move it away, so you'll bring it down. If you struggle to get up on the inside of the thigh, you'll take that foot down. So we're taking the weight into the standing foot first, then working out which position is my foot comfortable in. Take the toes down if you need them, foot's on the inside of the shin so the floor isn't too far away if you're not sure. And then we've got this action of extending up tall, and then maybe throwing in a little bit of extra challenge by taking the arms away from the body, or some of this. Anyway, all good fun. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.